I welcome you all to Target Professional Consults, live from Studio 55.5 on the streets of Accra. That is Ghana, West Africa. Please, we are going to walk you through on the success journey for IFRSs and then the ICA for ICA Ghana, ACCA, and for all the national chartered accountant that we have on this earth, like ICANN, the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Nigeria, like the Senegal's own, every country, and then their chartered accountants. All this information will be helpful for you, as well as the ACCA exams and the professional workers, those that want to carry accounting, auditing, chief financial officers, and then the rest. You all benefit from these IFRSs. The question I always ask is this: how can you apply these IFRSs to solve modern day life? That is the question for the day. How can you apply IFRSs? You see that investment portfolio, how can you apply IFRSs? There's a standard called IFRS 9. Financial instruments, it's about investments, loans, equity bonds, debt instruments. How do you apply this in real life? Is it just because understanding it, writing and passing the exams? So you must also show thyself approved in field of that. For professionals, you must have in-depth knowledge. Good. So the captain for today's ship is Mr. Target. Yes. And now with my co-captains as well, and then the entire management team and the crew board, welcome you all. Please find somewhere comfortable, somewhere enjoyable, and let us drive the entire ship to our destination. All right. Now, a brief. With Target Professional Consults, I walk you through where you can have access to materials, both ACCA, ICA, and SEMA materials. They are free of charge. They are free, but they are online materials, so you can go there to download. So first of all, I'll walk you through all our resource-based materials. So all the sections, all these videos will be live at the YouTube right after the section. So you can go in there, watch after it on YouTube. That's the only platform for our videos now. All right, so let's go straight to the game. The very first section, first online sections where you can get access to all the videos is the YouTube. So you can have access to all the videos of Target Professional Consults on YouTube. Please just go to YouTube, search for Target Professional Consult. Target Professional Consult, that is what you have to do. So Target Professional Consult, you go there and search for all our videos. So you can go there. So let's demonstrate that for you to see. So imagine you have the search engine, go to YouTube. So click on that, start searching for, search for Target Professional Consult. You will not even finish typing and you see Target Professional Consult arriving because everybody is searching for it day in, day out, because how helpful the videos are. So please take notice of that. All right, so now click on the name Target Professional Consults and the rest, go to the playlist. This is where we'll have all playlists. It contains all the videos which has been arranged in order. So if you are doing financial reporting, IFRSs, you can click on financial reporting and then you have it done. And all of these are for financial reporting. as well as the management accounting, and then the rest of the videos. All of them, management accounting is there. If you want to go back to check for management accounting, and management account is also here. All of them were answered. Someone requested for functional budget. However, when I'm done, I'll also show you where the lecture material, that's the notes, the questions that are used in the videos. I'll also show you where you can get access to those questions. All of them are also available for you so that it can enhance the study. So one thing that makes ACCA International, ACCA Global, is the availability of their resources, of their material, including lecture videos and books. Notes are all over. So if you make our resources all over the world, it enhances the learning. So that is why we pick on ourselves to do that. So please, that's the first thing. So please subscribe now, and then we move on with the game. Don't forget to subscribe. Yes. So do that as soon as possible by logging on to YouTube there, getting access to this video. Please, there's one thing that is you have to take notice of. For those who are on our platform, our WhatsApp platform, if you watch any video, you have the opportunity to request for an update of that. You send me private message, I respond to it for you. But for those outside our WhatsApp platform, unless the technical teams forward the message to us here before we can be able to respond to their message, it take a little time. So please join us, join our WhatsApp platform so that you can have a direct contact and we can interact, you can respond to it. Good. So that's the very first section. Yeah, someone just subscribed. I've seen you. I've seen a notification here. Yeah, someone just subscribed here. Yes, you've done that. Yes. So do same, and then we move on with the game. Oh yeah, you've done well. I've seen about about 4. Just right now, 4. Okay, you're going, it's moving. Okay, you've done well. Please, if you have not done that, do so. That's the first section where you can have access to our materials. They are free. Free. They are what? Free. And then we are going to add all the lecture videos, all the 14 papers. They are ready, but we've not uploaded them. Taxation, public sector, then the IFRSs in the modern form. You know, there has been a revision. There has been a revision. So we have to revise the section and bring them on board. So all of them. So very soon, if you subscribe, anytime we upload a playlist, you have a notification. And then you get a notification and have access to it. So that's the first section of today's end. So YouTube, you can get access to all, and they are free. Virtually what? Free for everyone. All corporate reporting, all the papers, please be available. If you cannot find them there, let me know. I'll show you where you can find them. Some of them have intentional lock small. Yes, I've intentional lock small. They are private videos on YouTube there. So if you tell me, I can open them for you. And what do? You move on with it. All right. Now, another section where you can also have access to our material is what you call the Target Digital Platform. Target Digital Platform. Now, with the Target Digital Platform, we call it online library. Library in your pockets. Library on your phone. So that is that. Now, with the online library, all what you have to do is that I'll show you how you can get access to them. So let's go straight to that one too. For those who want to get access to the materials, then we start with full section. Today, I will introduce you to the basis and the genesis of the IFRSs. And then the ones that we have, the remaining IFRSs and the IASs. And then we move on with the game. So let's go again. So we have the corporate reporting, for example. So corporate reporting is here. If you open it like this, we have the books. It contains both recent and the old books, lecture videos and notes, and question and answer solving. Just that this material is very restrictive. That one is not open. It's only for those who have access. If you don't have access to this, you will not have. So for example, if you want the manual, for example, the recent manual, that's the 2022 recent manual 2022 for ACCA Kaplan corporate reporting is in here for you. All of them are available. Please, these are for educational purposes. Take notice of that, for educational purposes. Good. So we get all those materials in here for you. Versus ICA Ghana, our manual, both the current and then the old manual. All of this has been selected in here for you. And then you get it done, you have access to it. Some are downloadable, some are not downloadable. You can only read. And then we move on with the game. We also have lecture videos and notes, where all the notes are in there. As you can see, employee benefits. These are the videos for employee benefits, and then the rest. So please take notice of that, where you can get access to all materials. These are the notes and then the question solving of it. So basically, this is the section. Basically, this is the section. So if you want any of the material, just get to us, we'll show you where. But those materials, most of them are free. Only few ones with the international books like Kaplan, ACCA, ICA manuals, those ones are restricted because it's come with a whole lot of copyright issues in which we've dealt with. So basically, that is it. So kindly register with us and get access to all this material. We have the free ones that with or without any registration, you have access to it straightforward. So they are, I call them, they are your right. Please write good materials. Must not be denied. Yes, they come with your birthright. Have you seen? Good. So basically that is it. So these are the areas. Now I also talk about the upcoming events that is ahead of us with Target Professional Consult. You take notice of them. Then right after that, I now zoom into the IFRS section. So basically I've used close to 20 to 30 minutes to give you a brief about Target Professional Consult, what we are in to do. Please, we are back fully. We are back fully. Yes, we are in to serve, back to provide an exclusive master section. And then we move on with the game. All right, so the next section is to look out for our next programs ahead of us. That is the ICAG November 2023. Yes, November 2023. What do we have for you? All of them are also there. Then we now move on straight to what we call the basis of the IFRSs, where the IFRSs even came from. Yes, some people normally get confused about the IASs and the IFRSs. We'll go deeper into the section, and then probably you can get full insights in it, and then we'll move on with the game. So if you have any question, anything, please can use the chat box. You can raise up your hand. The microphone will be unmuted for you to voice out all your questions, and then we'll get it done for you. All right. Good. So the upcoming event over here has to do with the ICAG November 2023 examination and the tuition. So that one is an executive master. It's different. So we intentionally improve on our systems to match this. So all what we are trying to say is that we have improved recently on our systems with target professional consults so that we can deliver an excellent tuition for our students. Because we have received numerous comments suggesting that our deliveries are excellent. So in so doing, we have to be improved and do much more better. So please, the target you see is an advanced form of targets. So imagine an advanced form of targets. Even the earlier one, where there's no technology, nothing, there was some massive work. So now we are going to do more. Good. So that is what we want to try to tell you. Okay, so the upcoming event is like this. Upcoming events on the shoulders or the take it of target professional consults. We are going to have the ICAG November 2016 classes. So how do you get in the timetable and everything? I'm sure you must have heard about it. So, but first of all, let me talk about these special classes, our timetable. Many of you don't have the timetable. In fact, I've even sent to many of you, but you have not taken a deeper look at it and then the timing of it. Now, every Monday, 6 p.m. up to 10 p.m. is on IFRS from now until 7th of August. Every Monday. Every Monday. Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is on strategic case study models. We're doing a lot of models, such as what? Michael Porter's 5 forces, Michael Porter's generic strategy, building block model, so that we can get practical insight of these models, and then we move on with the game. Then on Fridays is question solving period. Everything we've learned so far, we have to put them into practical, where we have a lot of practical questions, and then we move on with the game. Saturday, 3:30 p.m. are for IFRSs, 7 p.m. are for the strategic case study models. And then on Sunday, 3:30 p.m. are for IFRSs, 7 p.m. are for strategic case study models. So these are the structure or the program outline. So you can see today we started at 3:30 on the dot, and now we are giving a brief intro. Exactly 4:10, we'll start the main show, the main section, and then we move on with the game. And then we are done. All right, so now we'll move on to the next in action. Now the ICAG November 2016 timetable is also ready. So you can get it here on Monday, 6 p.m. up to 10 p.m. We have our financial reporting, and this will be handled by, as usual, the experienced tutors with target professional consult team. It's a consortium. Even though you may see 1 or 2 people leading, it's a consortium. You have a back team that prepares the system, and now only few people deliver, but it's a full house that comes together to make it happen. Management accounting, corporate reporting, and financial management. So these are our timetable. Public sector, special public sector, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. And I think I'll have a special session for the public sector. Yes, please, everybody that has been exempted from this IFRS, tell them to partake fully in this IFRS program, please. I intentionally did this program for a particular reason, please, especially those who are writing corporate reporting, but they have been exempted from public sector. Sorry, they have been exempted from IFRS financial reporting. So realize that the standard background is very little. So please make sure that if we're exempted from financial reporting, those with exemptions, please take notice that this program was meant for you so that you can have grips of whatever they've exempted you. I'll talk about the exemptions. When you take exemption, what you must use the exemptions for. Yes, many people mark time. They write several times with exemption, not because they don't know, it's because some certain basics are not at their right shape. So please and please again, make sure that you can do that. Someone cannot hear anything. Please check for us if you can hear us. If you can hear us, can let me know. Yes, it's true. The one that cannot hear, you have not joined your microphone, so that's why you cannot hear us. So can you join your microphone? Someone should tell her to join the microphone. She will be fine. Okay, team. So that is that. All right, so we can continue now. We can continue now, and then we'll move on with the game. Now, from the timetable, with the ICA timetable, we now move on to the subject combination. You see, sometimes if you are going to start with any profession, the subject that you mix together, they are very important. Please, those subjects. Some subjects they don't mix. So you may study them. Some subjects they relate very well. If you do them, maybe you can do that subject in the morning, afternoon, do the other one. Some subjects are done, but in the last evening, do another. That combination, please and please again. This has helped several people to qualify early. And then we move on with the game. So please, let's go through that with a subject combination for all the ICAs and then the ACCA. So I'll start with the level 1. Level 1 currently, it varies from country to country. For example, Ghana, ICA level 1 is supposed to know financial accounting, intro to management, and then business management and business law. Okay. This paper is a basic, it's a foundational paper. Yes. Now, take all of them very serious. For level 1 and level 2 papers are foundational. We normally call them the basic or the knowledge level. Level 2 is called application. And then level 3 is called professional and what? Practice level. If the knowledge level is not done well, the application will be very difficult. And then the professional or the practice level will not be. So we have a lot of qualified or chartered accountants in town, but the application of what they have learned from school is not there. They just want the pass, and yes, you pass. But over here, we want you to pick the two at the same time. You will pass with at least a basic knowledge of whatever you have studied. So that is why we are take upon ourselves to make sure that these IFRSs, you grasp them very well because they are the backbone of what? Accounting. And that is it. So now let me start with the subject combination. Management or business management that you learn at level 1 will normally link to 2 papers. So all of them, you will study them again. So business management at level 2, it turns itself to become management accounting, another killer bee. So management account, so all those who are learning management accounting at level 2, I expect you to pick your level 1 business management studies book to get some few bases from there. That is, if you're not going to start the program. Thank God, some years ahead of us, come in, ICA will strap off exemptions. So everybody right from the beginning, because some of the final level, the bases are not there. And you see that, like, it's not that you don't, it's not that you're not an intelligent student, you are very intelligent, but the basis you need so that you can practice the final level is not there. So that is why we are probably going to do that. So your business management have to link with management accounting. And please, all those who are doing management accounting, learn it very well so that it can also help you to conquer what you call strategic case study, the killer bee, the one in all, the master. Yes. So that comes in. All right, so basically, that is that. Now, when you take the financial accounting, that one runs through all. Financial accounting, at every field, everywhere you need financial accounting. Everywhere. So at the level 1, financial accounting, you must make sure that you grab certain basics in it so that it can help you to conquer financial reporting. So for those who have financial reporting well grounded, corporate reporting is just a trial work for them. If your financial reporting background is very solid, a solid foundation has been laid there, corporate reporting is not a problem. 1 or 2 attempts, you must clear it and go. 1 or 2 attempts, clear, go. 1 or 2 attempts, clear. Sometimes once, clear. 2, clear. But because we normally take exemption, exemption simple means, yes, you have done it somewhere. So that's why we're exempting you. It doesn't mean that you don't know it too. It means you must know. So when they exempt you, please go back and pick the book, get certain basis from it so that you can now be at the level at which they base the exemption. Then from FR, we move on to corporate reporting. Corporate reporting. So these 3 papers, either you write them continuously from financial accounting. If you delay before writing FR, you might not sit up in FR. From FR, if you delay a little, maybe you wrote FR some years back, you are now coming to write corporate reporting. Everything might seem very new to you. But immediately you finish FR and you have the chance, the means, you write corporate reporting, you see that, like, we call it smooth transition. Oh, you'll finish the paper very soon. That is it. Introduction to management accounting, the one they brought at level 1, to come and replace quantitative tools to also assist you to conquer management accounting, conquer strategic case study. So if these papers are not dealt with well, the advanced papers becomes very shallow. And that's all. So these are the links. Now, all those who are writing taxation at level 2. For taxation at level 2, please make sure that if there's a way, write the taxation at level 2 and advanced taxation together. You will thank me later. The taxation at level 2 and advanced taxation together as one. Because then one at level 2 is called principles of what? Taxation. Whilst the one at level 3 is called advanced taxation. Is a practice of what? Of the one in level 2. So all those who are doing the level 3, the advanced taxation paper, it's just an extension of what's slightly different between the advanced taxation and the principles. But trust me, most of the questions that will come at the level 3 are just follow-up questions at level 2. So if you are doing the taxation at level 2 and advanced taxation together, oh, forget about your failure. Failure is very far from you. So if you are doing that, forget about your failure. It's very far from you. I hope you get that. Very far from you. Yeah, it is possible to combine levels, provided that you have only one paper left at each level. So For example, if you have 1 paper left for the level 2, you can add to the level 3. But please, if you want to leave a paper, my humble advice, leave taxation, so that you can add taxation to the advanced taxation. That one you will clear. And surprisingly, anybody that writes advanced taxation and principles of taxation together, you always get higher marks in advanced than the principles, clearly. But those that write the advanced alone, they get lesser marks. Lesser, they will pass the paper by very low. So for those who write the two together, the principles of taxation always fuel, like counterpart them to pass advanced taxation. A lot of people write the two at the same time, but they fail the principles and rather pass the advanced. Yes, that is it. So the subject combination is very important. So I'm done with number 1. Principles of tax should move with what? Advanced taxation. That is, if you have a chance to do that. If you don't have a chance, no problem. Now, management accounting must move with financial management. If you're writing management accounting and there's a financial management, you must make sure that at least right after financial management, write management accounting, or right after management accounting, write financial management, because there's a connection between management accounting and financial management. All of them are management papers. The only difference is that one is managing money, financial management is managing money, and one is managing the entire organization, producing management information. So the difference between management accounting and financial management is slightly small. So learning these two papers together will give you upper hand of passing them at the same time, because certain topics are in both, no difference. For example, investment appraiser, capital budgeting, the word budget. Budget in financial management, budget is in what? Management accounting. So in that case, just learn budget comprehensive. Apply it at management level, apply it at what? The FM level. You are free to go and you are done with the game. So basically, that is all. Please and then please again. Then we move. For those who are writing public sector accounting must slightly move with FR, financial reporting, because the syllabus that we are in now, there is a 20 marker question that will be released, 20 marker question that is on the IFRS and the conceptual framework. That 20 marker question is the same as the IFRS. The only difference is that one is what? One is financial reporting in the public institutions, government institutions, and one is financial reporting in the private institutions. So there's something common. The commonness is that all of them based on what? Conceptual framework of financial reporting. So that one, there's no big deal about that. So if you're writing financial reporting and you have public sector to write, add the two together. Again, public sector can also move with management accounting, because there's one interrelated topic, budgets. Budget is in the public sector. The difference is that the public sector budget is about public budgeting, whilst in management accounting, the budget is about what? Private man budgeting. That's the subject combination. I'm done. Now let me go to the final level. Please, with the final level, subject combination for final level. That's for ICA Ghana. I'll come to ACCA very soon, and I'll go to the CPA, and then the rest. Please don't forget that right after this, we'll now move on to the main game. This is just a brief introduction. In today's section, we are extensively going to treat the genesis, the history, the genesis of the IFRSs. Why the IFRSs? So that you can have the IFRSs part of you. Please, today, let's all have IFRSs. Understand the genesis of IFRSs. Why the IFRSs? Why do the IFRSs have to be in? So at the end of the day, if you understand the genesis and why these IFRSs, it will give you what? An upper hand to understand it. Most often, we fail to understand because we thought it's something abstract. It's something far from us. But these IFRSs are part of daily life. It was set by human beings, not computers. I beg you. IFRS was set by human like us. So if you understand the rationale why they set it, it will give you upper hand on learning it. It's different from machine learning, AI. No. And then that is that. So please don't forget to get that section for me, and then we move on with the game. Agreed. So that's what we are going to do today. Now for the final level subject combination. Final level subject combination. Final level subject combination. Those who are writing part 3 and want to write part 3, subject combination. Make sure that if you are writing, anywhere you see strategic case study, please write that one last. Strategic case study. Yes, strategic case study. Except for you have a foundation in strategic case study. That one, you can write that one first. No problem with that. If you have a foundation in strategy, you have a foundation in what? Strategy. What do? Write that one first. But if your foundation in strategy is not too strong, write that one last. Reason. Now, the strategic case study summarizes all the other papers in ICA put together. In fact, previously we call it strategic case or corporate governance, ethics, and what? Those one that we normally used to call it in the 2014 syllabus or 2015 syllabus. So take notice of that. Then, if you're writing corporate reporting, it must move with advanced audit. Corporate reporting examiner, advanced audit examiner, and financial reporting examiner. There's some interconnection between them. If you like, I can give you some few illustrations. Pick all the financial reporting papers. Financial reporting papers. Pick all of them. All financial reports. ICA Ghana, for instance, pick all financial reporting papers. Check their standards. You will see some iota of interconnection between the standard that will appear, the same sitting, the standard that will appear in FR, financial reporting, and the corporate reporting are some kind of similar. Two of your standards must appear at the final level. So financial reporting, corporate reporting, their IFRSs have a connection. Then corporate reporting and advanced audit. Because advanced audit, there should be a full 20 marker question on evidence gathering. Evidence gathering on financial statement. That is a full 20 marker question. Evidence gathering on advanced audit. That particular question is they are going to test you on your knowledge on IFRSs. So if your corporate reporting level is very strong, passing advanced audit is just a kick blow. And advanced audit is a matter of language, please. Advanced audit is a language. Taxation is a principle, but not emotion. But management accounting is analytical. Financial management is analytical. Corporate reporting and financial reporting, all of them, this one they are look and see. Because financial reporting and corporate reporting, the format is so clear. We have the format, unlike the others. So please take notice of this subject combination. It will help. The subject combination. So that is it. So if you are doing audit, make sure, advanced audit, make sure that you have a knowledge in the IFRSs, because audit without IFRSs, you won't be able to get a deeper understanding of it. Because when you reach evidence gathering on a prepared financial statement, you'll be fumbling. So please, the subject combination is this. Then when you are done, then you now come and write your strategic case study for us, because now you have knowledge in all the others. But if you have idea in case study, you can decide to write that one first. And please, all this information I'm giving you is based on the assessment conducted by target professional consults. So that's the disclaimer that we put there. Good. And then ACCA, the same thing. If you're writing ACCA, the same thing. Subject combination is very important. You can pick ACCA, for instance. If you're writing, as soon as you are done with the level 1, that's the management accounting. Push forward to write the management accounting at level 2. We call it performance management. Right after performance management, when you go to level 3, write the advanced performance management first, so that you can have that paper passed before starting the strategic case study and co. But then you realize all the strategic case study, they call it strategic business reporting. It will take everything you've learned out from your mind. So if you don't select the courses well, it becomes a problem. And then that is all. If you have a question, you can probably put on before I switch and now move on to the deal of the day, the subject matter, why we are here. Good. So you can probably let us have your question, and then I will address all the questions. You can put into typing, and I'll address all the questions. And then also we'll probably go on there. Please, we always tell you that you must join Target Professional Consult in our program. Why do you have to join Target Professional Consult? Because we are all over, and everyone has endorsed us. So probably before I move on to, can public sector go with principles of taxation? Public sector and principles of taxation, there's a small iota, very small, it's about 10%, 5 to 10%. It doesn't go beyond 10%. The reason being that public sector, good, the public sector and taxation, there's a small, it's not even up to 10%. Let me explain. Public sector accounting for what you call central governance accounting. Central governance accounting. With the central governance accounting, you have to learn revenues that flows to the central government. One of them is taxes. So that's the first area where public sector and taxation meet. And that one, you can easily pass that without. So you can write public sector on its own without taxation. You can write taxation on its own without public sector. They don't have a strong connection because the taxation use the tax laws of the state, whilst the public sector use the Public Financial Management Act, and they are not the same. They are not the same. Good. So please, they are not the same. So you can do that. And the next, please ask all your questions, because when I start the main section, we'll not talk about the introduction again. We are now going to fully go into the main section, the IFRSs. I have to introduce you to the IFRSs, what they are, why they are in, who and who set them. In fact, we can even set our own standard. Yes, publish it, and the people start using it. Yes. So that's what we are going to look out for. So let your question flows for now. Okay, so which accounting system is the best and which should I choose? Come clever with the systems. What do I refer for systems? These are accounting softwares. The accounting softwares or the institutions, accounting institutions. Can you come clever? That's iPad School. Come clever. Then after ICA, how many papers do I have to write to chapter ACCA? Please, you have to write all the final level. So ACCA have level 1, level 2, level 3. They call it, in fact, we call it application, knowledge level, application, and a professional level. So 3 papers are level 1. ACCA level 1 is 3 papers, purely computer based. 3 papers level 1. Then level 2, there are 6 papers over there. 6 papers for level 2. Then level 3. Level 3, we have 2 papers which are compulsory. Then we have 4 optional papers to level 2. So actually, ACCA level 3 write 4 papers. And out of the 4 papers, 2 of them are compulsory. That's the strategic business reporting. In ICA, we call it corporate reporting. ACCA call it what? Strategic business reporting. The matter chopoto. They've added strategy to their corporate reporting, making strategic work, business reporting, the meta report. Then you also write that one with the strategic business leader. That is the strategic case study version of their own strategic business leader. Then the optional ones are 1, advanced audits, advanced tax, advanced performance management. Good. All these ones are what? Optional. You select 2 out of the 4 optional ones, and then that's all. You are free to go. After ICA, ACCA will exempt you. You write only 4 papers at the final level, and then you graduate. And if you want to also charter after ICA, please, good. After ICA, kindly move towards taxation, because there's a link between tax, accounting, and law. These 3 things, tax, accounting, and law. Make sure that they marry each other. Tax, accounting, and law. Please make sure that you move towards that angle. So after ICA, please move to CIT. Now we call it pay fees and then finish early. But that one is not all that difficult, except for if you want to enter into the international tax system, that is going for the advanced one, the one organized by the ACC Advanced Taxation, and then that is that. Good. So please take notice of that with the subject combination, and then we move on with the game. So right from ICA Ghana, move into the taxation and add a bit of law, the tax law or the accounting law to it, so that it will enhance, it will embroaden your scope, it will give you diverse ideas, it can help you to at least chair and even manage a board of organization. If you want more of it, you can probably chat me privately. I'll add more the rest to it. Now I am going straight to the purpose of our gathering, to dive deeper into what? IFRSs. So you're now going to talk about the IFRSs, the genesis of these IFRSs, and where they are coming from, where they're heading towards, the motive behind. That will really help us to understand everything, and then we move on. But before we do that, please, I'm reminding you that Target Professional Consult is back with its what? Advanced systems. So please, and please again, kindly partner with us for your professional delivery. Now we are back fully, virtually what? Fully. So, and a lot have been invested in. Please take advantage of this season so I'll not come back again, and then partner with us for us to move the section. All right, before I go to the IFRSs and its foundation, I'll now do some small commercials. Please, you see, reason why you have to select Target Professional Consult videos. Let's probably look at some few of them. And please, you can also request for our WhatsApp group to join us so that you can interact with us from time to time, and then we move on with the game. Yes, I think last graduating, ICA graduation, most of our students graduated, even with what? A national award. Yes, if you're on the page, you have seen some of the posts I've shared with you. The overall best students came in from us. Yes, and then, in fact, we mentored that guy very well. And in fact, he has not completed, though. He's still learning. He might have not completed. He's still under training. And we are hoping that every graduation, any exam he writes, he must get that award. That was his first attempt with overall best. Second attempt, we expect another overall best. Final level, we also expect overall best. And then moving on, so that now it is your turn for you to get it done. And then we move on with the game. So let's go to our YouTube there and have more to enjoy. Please discuss Target with someone and let's get it done. I always say that when Target is serious and when Target is ready, it's West. That one, no, it's even West. So please join us and then let's go. So I'll share with you some few memories. In fact, for the past 2 years, Target have not released videos on the YouTube there. Yes, we've not released videos. And we had a lot of complaint, a lot of tests, a lot of messages. Even I received some of the personal messages that called us back into a full-time teaching industry. Now Target is fully out. Yes, we are all over. If you like, go on Google, go on YouTube, go everywhere, because we are back fully. Yes. And then we move on with the game. So please join the winning team, and then let's move on with the game. Let me probably show you something small for just 2 minutes. Then we'll now go into the IFRSs. So today is the introduction to IFRS. Don't forget. And then we move on with it. Please, when I start the IFRS, there are no commercials. I won't get time to do any commercial, any break, any questions. No, that one we've entered on the motorway. No break. We are moving all the way, and then we move with the game. So please join us fully, and then we move with the game. Join us fully. And basically, we move with the game. Now let's go straight. Okay, so please, you can check on the YouTube there how the videos is doing magic. So Target Professional Consults videos, please kindly take notice of that. Yes, kindly subscribe if you have not done that. Yes, subscribe if you have not done that. And always go there to watch our videos. Tell your friends about them. Now, the last time we published, I think a video is 500 days. This one was even an exams preparation. We didn't publish videos. Getting to 2 solid years, we've not published any videos. So these videos was the earlier videos we did in 2020 and 2021. So we'll go to the comment section. Please, you can take notice of them. So please, these are people's words, people's comments, as you can see here. Yes, good. Please, our textbook will be in very soon, but now we have all our lecture notes on our dicta platform. So if you want our financial reporting note, lecture notes, everything, please request it. Then we can give you the access to have access to all our notes and then our materials. So, and then that is that. Good. So please, a lot of people are giving their commentary. In fact, it is this particular comment that got us back onto our track. Yes, those days we were using ordinary mobile phone to do the recording, unlike today that we have gotten an advanced systems to do. In fact, we have gotten an advanced studio to do. We still need more so that we can get into what? A higher streams. Thank you. Now, as you can see, this particular comment that got us back. Yeah, so please support and save this channel from dying. Yes. So, and it's true. Over 2 years, over a year and a half, we've not been able to upload a video. Yeah, so that is that. So please take note of that. All these materials, they are available. If you're on our WhatsApp page, please and please again, all the materials, you can get it done. You can request for it. Someone asked for IFRS 15 and 16. Yes, I have a video on that. IFRS 15 and 16, there's a full video on them. All of them are available. So request for them and you move with the game. So please take notice of that. And then, so these are where people like recommend, please, this is an international platform where your videos have to be must meet the standards. So it tells you clearly that the videos that we provide are standardized form. So please take it. This is from Tanzania. You are the best here. I can't wait for I-37 EPS and business valuation. Boss, I have it already. Not that they are yet to come, it's there. So you can easily get it and then you are free to go. So, please, all my outside Ghana friends, I hope you are around. Some are watching us live from Liberia, live from Sierra Leone, live from Uganda. My Tanzanian friends, all of them are available. And then Pakistan, all the ACCA Pakistan, they are in, and then we move on with the game. So please take notice of that. Now you have opportunity, bigger opportunity, because as soon as you watch the video, you have a platform where you can ask all your questions and then we can make it done. Good, and then move on with the, so good Twitter ever. All these comments are the ones that brought us back, because I think over 2 years, I've not been able to upload video, and now we are back fully to release all our videos out, and then we move on with the game. Yeah, so now target is in fully, and then we can get it done. All right, so please let me go straight to the game and let our YouTube channel be a place of your studies. So far, all the consolidation, the best video so far is a Target Professional Consult in consolidation. That is free. This one is basically free. So for those who cannot probably afford expensive tuition, don't worry. Just log on to it. They are there for free for you to go and watch and then move on with the game. And then we move on with the section. So if I will show you all, we'll not finish right now. So let me pause here and then move on and move on and move on and move on. Very interesting explanations, and then move on with the game. So please, you are in a safe hands. Register all your papers with us, and then good. So I want to join the classes for FR 2 years ago. I'm not replying it. Wow, what the wow, 2 years ago. So throughput, all of them are there. Can you do a lecture on IS? Please, you have it. We have all of them. Once again, we are done. Now let me go straight to the game. If you want to have access to these videos, all you have to do is that go on YouTube. Go on YouTube. In fact, our new section, this is where we intend to move the section to. Go to Target Professional Consult, search for it. Go to the playlist, search for the videos there. And then that's all. We search for the videos over there. All the videos are available. And please, we also have what we call IFRS drops. 1 day, 1 question, 1 day, 1 question, 1 day, 1 question, 1 day, 1 question. And then we move on with the game. So every day, I will start that one middle of August. not now, the middle of August. One day, one question be released out, you solve them, and then at dawn, we use YouTube Live at the dawn to solve those IFRS questions. So take notice of that, and then we move on with the game. I'm done with this. Please join the winning team. And let's also celebrate some of our award winners. So some of our award winners, if you are on our WhatsApp page, you can see there. Yeah, so Ima is the overall best student at his first attempt. And Abigail is the best graduating student in Target Professional Consults with no failure. She wrote all the papers with Target Professional Consults, no single failure. She graduated last sitting, and many graduating students, many. So Targets, we are in to stay. Yes, the PSA videos are not uploaded on YouTube. They are on a digital platform, so where you can have all the PSA videos are available. Advanced taxation tax, all of them are available. So you will see them on YouTube very soon, and then we'll move on with the game. Now I am done, and I'm about to start the main section. I'm done, and I'm about to start the main section. So ask all your questions before I start the main section. The main section. All right. So we are back again. Good. So now we are now going to start with our IFRSs. Detailed explanation of these IFRSs. So please relax and then enjoy the IFRS series, and then we'll move to the game. Yeah, so we'll start slowly and talks about the genesis of these IFRSs whilst we move with the game. Please, if you have not registered for your November exams, kindly do so. Yes, before it becomes too late. How do you register? Get this file. Go to the bottom page of the timetable. Click on this file. That's all. Just click on it. See what the Lord will do after you click on this file. It will take you straight. So to take you straight to the IFRSs where you can, the registration link where you can register, and then we move with the game. Good, so that is that. So please, you register for us, and then we move on with the game. So now let's go straight to the game. I think the registration, when you click on the link, you can register online, and everything will be done. It will be added to your classrooms, and then we move on with the game. Now we are free to go. Now let's get the ball rolling. Now we are going to look out for the agenda for the day, IFRSs. Now we are going to talk about the IFRSs, where they started from, their genesis, and where we are heading towards. So that is the IFRSs section. So now let's start straight with the game. Let's start straight with the IFRSs section. Tell a friend that we have reached the IFRSs section. So please join us as we start the game. Good. Now, all of us are into the field of accounting and finance. So let me introduce you to the accounting field and the finance. I will be writing a bit. I have notes on all this, so maybe after the class, I may share the notes with you via our restricted digital platform. All the materials are over there where you can have access to them, and then you move on with the game. Let's go. Everybody gone through IFRSs. Now, it's starting from accounting. Accounting. I always ask this section. I always ask this section. I always ask this question. What is accounting? What is accounting? Why accounting? We want to be a chartered accountant. Let me start from there. Most often, the answers that I get are not all that satisfactory. But what can you do? Now, let's get it clear. Over here. Now, if they ask for the meaning of accounting in the simplest language, accounting in the simplest language means provision of information. That's all. Provision of information. So an accountant is a special body that provide an information. Usually, whatever purpose the information they will use it for, that one is up to them. Some of them use it for their decisions, some of them for investment purposes, a whole lot of different use. That is not your problem. Your problem is, how do I provide the information that will suit the purpose? How do I provide the information that will be relevant to all those who need it? That's all. Accounting is about what? Information provision. Of course, if you don't have fish, you can never give fish. Yes. If you don't have fish, you can't give fish. So if you ask for explanation of accounting at the basic level, they will tell you process of gathering financial data out of recording, summarizing. Yes, that one is okay. You see, that's the genesis. We normally call it the gathering of information, because if you don't have information, you can't give it out. So the ICA, ACCA, CIMA, we are just trying to, in fact, teach or give you the practical aspect of what? How to provide information. That's all. How to provide what? Information. That's basically about what? Accounting. Now, let's go again. Of course, the recording of it will tell us that before we can provide information, we must first of all know how to gather information. So the early stage of accounting is a gathering of information. And then the latter part of accounting is the giving out of the information. That's all. So gathering information and giving out of information, that's all. Now, there are so many information that accountants can give. One, information about the financials. Financial, I call it money. Information about money. So you can give information about money. You can also break this into two. With the financial money, you can't let one person handle all the money or handle every aspect of money. It's totally not right. So we have those that manage the money. We call it financial management. All these people, you must learn it before you can become a chartered accountant. No worry. So we are introduced to the genesis of all these plenty papers. They could have let the paper be just one for you to write. They should just call it accounting. So one day you sit down, you write, oh, you are done. No, we have to break it down because we have various information that you have to provide for us. So management, that's how they can manage the money that the organization generates. It's about the receipts and inflow and outflow of money. They also have the report, those that provide the reporting. Those that record the money and those that manage money must be in different hands. It's totally wrong for one person manage money and report money. You see? So that is why in accounting, we have diverse subjects for your studies. So as you can see here, even the reporting, there are 3 levels of the reporting. We have the financial accounting, financial reporting, and the corporate reporting. All of these are the reporting side. We also have some accountants, they are experts in cost calculation. We call them cost accounting. Cost accounting. They provide information about cost, detailed computation about what cost. We also have what you call management accounting. Ekilabe. Management. They provide information for management to plan, to control, and to make decisions in organization. That is one thing that makes management accounting paper very difficult. The reason being that management accounting paper, it's a paper that is purely based on analytical. It's not something that is like financial reporting. The format is there, follow this format and get yourself. No. Every stage comes with own what? Tailor-made principles. So management accounting, we are going to provide information for managers to think about the organization. So that is that. Then we also have another team. They provide assurance because this report are for both external. They have external and internal use. So for external purposes, for external use, there must be a team that will provide an assurance. We call it audit. So that is why, so before you can call yourself a chartered accountant, we have to pass you through all this level before. But we can't do this one day, no. And then we move on with the game. The next section is tax, law. All these are field of accounting, and business advisory. Business advisory and management, strategic case study and co. So before you qualify, all this come to a successful play. Now, today's section, we are going to single out financial reporting, corporate reporting, their requirements, and where IFRS is featured in. Good. So now let's move on to the next stage of the game. Now, taking financial report in the levels of FR, financial reporting. There are basically 3 levels of financial reporting. Please, knowing this will do you so well good to understand the paper. So before I introduce to the IFRSs, you have to know the level that you are studying the IFRS. Do you get it? The level at which you need the IFRS will determine the magnitude. Imagine we ask IAS 16, a financial reporting standard at level 1 exams, and we ask the same IAS 16 at level 2, and level 3. Do you expect the difficult should be the same? Difficultness of the question should be the same? No. So definitely, so that is, if you know what is expected of you at each level, you will know how detailed you must what? Probably learn with your IFRS. So basically, we are done with the game. Now, first, to provide information, you need to go through first and financial accounting, as I explained to you earlier. The financial accounting paper basically is for records keeping. Records keeping. That's all. So that's why we introduce you to the day books. We normally introduce you to day books. Day books, debit and credit, how you can report, how you can, in fact, trial balance, extended trial balance, control account, sales ledger. All these are for records purpose so that we can reconcile the records. Bank reconciliation statements. All of these are under the financial accounting level because at that stage, we are only guiding you to know how to keep basic set of records. How you can keep data. So have you seen the columns of sales day book? You start with the columns, date or the number, the details, the folio, amounts, final total, deductions, final amount, cash book. All these are for records purposes. You see, that is all. That's all for financial accounting. So you must have these basic skills on how to. So imagine you qualified as a chartered accountant and they've exempted you from financial accounting and financial reporting. Good. And you got the job. And then the CEO have asked you that you have to lead a company. The company is a startup company. It's a new company. You are the first chief, in fact, financial controller. Set up the books. What books are you going to set up? That one will come from financial accounting. Corporate reporting will not tell which book you should set up. Financial reporting won't tell you. It's financial accounting that you need. So each subject and why we learn it. So for financial accounting, the main aim is to know which books is good for organization. I've seen those in the olden days, those notebooks that you go and see plenty of them. Cash book, whatever books. That is it. Then I move on with the game. So right after the financial accounting, you now graduate to the next level called financial reporting, where many of you write it. Only few will be exempted. Financial accounting. Sorry. That is financial reporting. It normally moves with public sector accounting. The only difference is one is for private man, one is for the government entities. So those two are a very good combination papers. And then we move on with the game. Right after this, we are just linking where IFRS comes in terms of financial reporting, so that you get it clear when we start with these IFRS. The very first standard, the second standard, and then the rest. Then we move on with the game. Yes. For those who have done CIB, you'll be exempted from financial reporting. Yes, with a CIB qualification, when you come to ICA Ghana, you have clear exemption on the FR. Yes, for those who have done CID, they will exempt you. Now, financial reporting, I normally use few words to describe it. I call it preparation and presentation of financial statements. So FR in the simplest language means preparation and presentation of financial statements. That's the meaning of what FR. So if you are reporting, it simply means you are preparing and presenting financial statements at the same time. So at the end of FR paper, anybody that's doing financial reporting or public sector accounting, please, public sector accounting is also a financial reporting, but that one is for public sector, not for private man. So at the end of the day, you should be able to know how to prepare a basic set of financial statements. And in preparation of financial statements, that is where you need these important IFRSs. So to be able to prepare this financial statement very well, to provide a very good report on your financials, without these IFRSs, forget it. Forget it, because the country that we live in, or the countries that we prepare the financial statement in, they have adopted IFRSs. So before you can produce a very good report, it must comply with the IFRS. You can't say that you are in a country where they have adopted IFRSs and you are going to what? Prepare your financials not like under the requirement of what the IFRS, just because you have little knowledge. No, it's not an excuse. So that is that. So it's about preparation and presentation of what? Financial statements. That is all. That's FR. Now you prepare the financial statements based on the records kept at the financial accounting level. So if you know how to keep a very good records, or it can assist in a very good financial report. Now let's move on to the last stage of the reporting. We call it corporate reporting. ACCA, we call it strategic business reporting, the matter chocolate, or strategic that one, the matter chocolate, strategic business reporting, SBR. Now, with a strategic business reporting, all what you're trying to say is that we are reporting on the entire organization, the annual report of a company. That is what we are talking about, the annual report. That is the annual report. The annual report of a company is what referred to as what? Strategic business reporting or corporate reporting. Basically, the corporate reporting talks about three things. Corporate reporting, three things you must know. One, it talks about financial reports. And it talks about integrated reports. This one talks about profits. This one talks about people and planets. So you see, So we call something 3Ps. Triple bottom line reporting: profit, people, and then the planet. So corporate reporting, we move beyond financial report. So for financial report, we only report on profits or performance. But integrated report talks about how the organization add value. So the integrated report talks about how the organization add what? Add value. That's all. How the organization add what? Add value. So that's what we mean by what? The integrated report. So you prepare your financial report, then you add how you add value to your shareholders to the report. You get a corporate report. So in a corporate report, you have chairman's statements, you have a lot of statements in it. CEO's remark, auditors reports, all these form part of what? The corporate report. Good. So basically, that is it. Now we are done with the corporate reporting. Now let's start with this IFRSs. Now the IFRSs, basically the IFRS talks about this. You see, before you can be able to report very well, there's fundamentals where the IFRSs came. You see, after the Second World War, some years after the Second World War, around 1950, there was what you call the global movement of capital. So an investor in Asia, China, moved capital to Africa to establish business. Investor in Asia moving. So a lot of them, you can see some of the malls, most of the large malls being owned by the Asian in African soil, on African soil, like, I can give an example, China Mall, I can give an example, Palace, and then the rest. Yes. So they started moving capital from one continent to the other continent, multinational investment. So when that thing happened, then there must be a universal comparison and consistency. So it got a time, the whole world was lacking of what you call a universal accounting standard. Because one person operating in Ghana, the same person operating in China, the same person operating in UK. But if all these three countries have different accounting standards, how could the owner measure performance? So the idea of this IFRSs is to solve this problem. The problem is that when a Chinese investor moves from China to Ghana for an investment, and he moved from Ghana to UK, from UK to another country, and all these standards, the way we prepare financial statements are different. It affects comparison. It doesn't even know which of the country I should stay in and do my business. So the early stage of the IFRSs was as a result of what? This problem. So capital movement creates IFRSs. What a wow. Then with this IFRSs, it's formed the basis of financial reporting. So before we can understand financial reporting, there are two things that govern financial reporting that I would like everyone to understand it clear. So both financial reporting and corporate reporting, there are two things that govern that. First is the conceptual framework. Second is the IFRSs. The two are not the same. These two are not the same. Now, the difference is that The conceptual framework made up of what? General principles that govern accounting. This one is made up of what? Specific principles. So the IFRS provides specific guidance. Specific principles. That's the difference. So that is why the IFRS are many. There are many, but the conceptual framework is just one. So the general principles that you must apply in accounting is what we mean by what? The conceptual framework. Then the IFRS provide specific ones. So that's why every transaction in accounting, there's a particular standard that governs it. So a lot of transactions that will take place in business, it calls for different standards. If you go and buy goods that you do in, IS2 is calling you. If you go and buy PP, 16 is calling you. If you buy investment property, 40 is calling you. So there are different principles. Good. Let me give you the surprising story. All the IFRSs are coming from the conceptual framework. Unfortunately, the IFRS supersede the conceptual framework. So they use the IFRSs. In fact, IFRS is the product of the conceptual framework. It is the conceptual framework. As of the conceptual framework, they develop all these IFRSs. But after the development of IFRSs, it's come to stand alone and override the conceptual framework. Wherever there's what? Contradiction. So wherever there's contradiction, this IFRS supersede what? It supersedes the conceptual framework anytime there's contradiction. Good. So now we know that this IFRS is going to provide specific principles, whereas the conceptual framework will give us the general principles, and then we move on with the game. All right. Now with that of the issues, so let's start. So who actually formed this IFRS? Started somewhere here after 1950. After 1950, that is where the universal accounting principle, the idea came about. After 1950. Yes, about 70 years ago. That's where the idea of this IFRS started from. So in that case, somewhere 1966, like we thought it wise for us to have what? A universal accounting standard, somewhere 1966, looking at it. Good. Now, the IFRS itself, it originated from European Union. So that they can assess businesses across continents, for those who assess businesses across continents. And it was quickly adopted as a common accounting language. Common what? Accounting language. So the IFRS originated from where? Originated by European Union. You see, when they started the business, moving from one country to another country, they need to know a universal language of accounting. So that is why the IFRS came in. That's why the IFRS stepped in. So they adopted it. So in 1966, that is where they started the idea of what? Producing accounting standard at the UK, London Street. Yes. So when they started this IFRS, they thought it wise of this one, let's extend it to become a global base. So the idea was to help those investors who trade across countries or continents so that they can have what you call a common language of accounting to be able to help produce a very good report. That's all. Then in 1973, so 1973, quickly, they started the development of these IFRSs. It became news all over that they started a universal accounting language in 73. You see, these IFRSs that you are using one day to write exams on, it's a several years development. Look at where the idea started from. Then in 1975, the very first standard, the set of the standard was released, or the first standard was released, and then the rest followed the same year. So they released, they call it International Accounting Standards. So they started releasing this International Accounting Standards. So 1971, IS-1 was released. IS-2 followed. IS-3, IS-4, up to IAS-41. Full stop. So it has gone through a whole lot of what? Development. Updating, revision, conciliation. So these IFRSs that we are learning, please know where it's coming from. Why? The reason is to make reporting very transparent. And we see all this. And all these are documented in our material. So when you get a copy, you're free to go. So something happened on the very first day of April, 1st of April, 2001, something happened. What happened? April 2001, they realized that the standard, most of the standards that were issued in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s were no longer in good shape. No amount of revision could solve the problem. No amount of what? Revision could solve the problem. So what's the way forward? Then they have no choice than to cancel this standard and release new versions. Like the way we have new versions of what? Device, phones, laptops, new versions. There we used to have Pentium, right? Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Pentium 4. And now they say we are in the i3, i5, i7, i9, and then the rest. Very soon, new set will enter the market. So now, anytime they cancel an existing standard, they release the latest version. Now, let me ask this question here. The word accounting and the word financial reporting, which one is a bit advanced, more advanced? The word accounting and the word financial reporting, which one is more advanced? More advanced. Financial reporting, yes, I'll take that. So the new standard that were released coming, so instead of them calling it IA, they will now replace the A with FR, financial reporting. So let's say let A equal to FR, Who can tell me the new name? So now we don't call it International Accounting Standard again. Now let's call it International Financial Reporting Standards. So those ones were released immediately after April 2001 to replace all the old IASs, which we cannot update. So that is it. Now, so they started, they released number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Currently, we have up to 17. The more they issue, the more accounting students, professionals get work to do to also learn it. So please, if you can have a way of talking to them, you can talk to them to reduce the frequency or take time for us. Agreed. All right, so that is that. Now, currently we have 28 IASs. 13 has been cancelled. So the IAS, we have currently 28. 13 is gone. 13 of it. There are 41. So from 1975 up to 2001, they issued 41 standards and they've canceled 13 among those 41. So left with 28. And if you are hoping to be a chartered accountant or accounting professional, you must have in-depth knowledge in these 28 IASs plus 17 IFRSs. So in all, what is the total of all the IFRSs? So total, now when we mention IFRSs, we are referring to so many things. IFRSs, anywhere, when we mention IFRSs, it means we are talking about what? We are talking about the IASs and the IFRSs. Again, we're also talking about IFRS Foundation, the owner of the IFRSs. Very soon we'll look at them. Yes. So take notice of that. So we have 28 plus 17. Who can tell us the answer? So in all, currently, there are 45 accounting standards. 45 accounting standards. Not all these are examinable with a professional institution, not all of them. But for those who are into the practice, accounting firms must know all these 45 standards. All these 45 standards, but we'll specialize in the 10 most important one, the big 10. So this special program, we are treating only 10 of these standards. These 10 IFRSs, 10. And when we are done, we'll pick the next 10. Another 10 sets will come. Another 10 sets. We'll do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Then we now do the last 5. Just for this batch, we are doing only 10 of the IFRSs. We'll do the rest later. We are doing the one that is examinable and practical, most examinable standards and most practical standards. So that for those who will join us, will benefit fully from the program. Not that we have to waste precious time on standards that are not usually applicable in our jurisdiction. And then we move on with the game. All right. Now let me do the first section. Then I will move on with this. Now let me walk you through the structure of the IFRS foundations, how this IFRS is being set, and then all the teams, and then the IFRS is the foundation, IFRS foundation, and then we move on with the game. Now let's start. Please know the genesis of these standards. It will really enlighten your understanding. This IFRS was released to solve the problem of what? Global miscommunication about accounting, so that it can provide transparent reports and comparability, consistency, the whole world, in summary, the whole earth. As now talking to you, over 167 countries adopt the IFRS. I'll go deeper for you to know much more about this IFRS, so that when you are learning these IFRSs, you learn with confidence. You learn with what? Confidence about these IFRSs. Usually, it's little information that we know about it. That is why it doesn't motivate us to even know much more about it. All these things are there for you to get it done about this IFRS. Now let's move on. Let's show who own the IFRSs, the structure of the IFRS. IFRS. Let's say board. Now, the IFRS is supposed to be set by what you call IFRS Foundation. IFRS Foundation. Now, the IFRS Foundation is a trustee. In fact, they are the big bosses. I normally call them the big bosses, even though there's also a monitoring board on top of IFRS Foundation. So they also have their bosses and bosses. The overall head is called the IFAC, International Federation of what? Accountants. Please, you must know all these tips about the IFRS, so that especially all those who are aiming to write the final level, you start from the basis and get to the final level, you must be able to command your explanation at this area for us. Anytime we ask you questions at this area. Now, the IFRS Foundation, I call them the big boss. The big boss. They're supposed to set the standards. If I should talk more about the IFRS Foundation, the IFRS Foundation is just a global trustee. You see, they are in place of the monitoring board. Good. And now all the trustees, they form, in fact, what you call the IFRS Foundation. So the trustee forms the IFRS Foundation. And because in 2018, the IFRS Foundation came out with a constitution. And then the aim was that they must have what you call a geographical balance. So right after that, they gave a representative across the world. So every continent, there is what? A representative, every continent among those trustees. So the IFRS Foundation, they're supposed to set the standards, and they have formed a board to set a standard on their behalf. Now, so they form a board quickly. And now they appoint members onto the board. They appoint members. They fund the board. They govern. Please, anywhere you see governance, it means they form policies. They give them instructions, policies, lay down procedures, methodologies. Again, and they oversee the activity. That's the supervision. They supervise the board. We call them International Accounting Standard Board. They are the sole producer of these magic IFRSs. So they produce these IFRSs that we are going to learn. What a powerful board. They produce a standard that over 167 jurisdictions use this. Over 167 jurisdictions use IFRSs, with the exception of the few countries which, one way or the other, their national laws don't allow the operation of IFRSs. Good. So that is that. Very soon, we may come out with some few of the countries that don't have the IFRSs. And some countries also have the hybrid version of the IFRSs. So some of the countries, the IFRSs and then their national accounting standard also run together. All the two standards run. So one country adopting two different accounting standards. Interesting. So fantastic. So let's move on. Now this IFRS foundation, their trust and all the trustees. So it's just a trust or a trustee. What happened is that to obtain geographical balance, there are 22 in number. 22 in number. 6 must come from Europe. 6 should come from Europe. 6 in the Asian region. 6 must come from the Americans region. 3 must be from anywhere apart from this area. Then 1 must come from Africa. So African, thank God, we have a representative on the board. Sorry, among the foundation, IFRS foundation. 1 is coming from Africa. 6 is from Europe. 6 is from Asia. 6 from America. And 3 from any other area apart from this. So it can be a renowned international partner. Let's say an accounting firm partner can be appointed. So any area, so that they can maintain what? A geographical balance, so that every continent, you have a representative among them. So that is the trustee. 22 in number. Now, the board, now let me come to the board. They produce the IFRS. They are the sole producers of the IFRSs. Now, when I mention IFRSs, it is made up of the IASs and then the IFRSs coming together. Good. Now, they also report back to the foundation. Now, the board, there are 14 members. What a wow. So the IFRS, only 14 board members, they develop the IFRSs. 14. 14. What a wow. 14 board members, they develop the IFRSs. The 14 to achieve a geographical balance. To achieve geographical balance, 3 must come from Europe. 3 must come from Asia. 3 must come from America. 1 should come from Africa. And 1 must come from any other area. Any other area. Even currently, the board chairman is coming from the other area. Good. And then that is it. So only 14 members. So let me see if I can get them for you. Africa, our representative, I think is the from South Africa, Bruce. Yeah, Mr. Bruce from South Africa. So let me see if I can do this for you now. We have to give you the practical insight too. All right, so for teaching purposes, let's go. So this is the International Accounting Standard Board. So the meeting section, International Accounting Standard Board, 14-member board. Now the board members, here we are. So Mr. Andrews, the board chair, Linda, vice chair, the rest are board members. So Bruce represent the Africa. So that is it. From South Africa, Bruce Mackenzie from South Africa. So these are the board members. So these are the, let's say, the gurus who are developing our accounting standard for us. 14-member board producing what? IFRSs for over 167 countries to use for their financial reporting. Of course, Bruce was appointed 2020 for a 5-year term, and then the rest. Let's move on with the game. The same thing applies to the IFRS Foundation. They are 22 in number. Now, the foundation realized that to add more, to make these IFRSs very quality, to improve the work of the board, they must create what you call a supporting staff. There must be a supporting staff. So they created 2 supporting staffs. So first, the foundation creates what you call IFRS Advisory Council. Basically, the advisory council are there, but they are there, or it's there to provide what you call advisory services, as the name suggests. Advisory services. Now, it can be a direct advice, or sometimes in situations where the advisory council don't have the capacity to give such advice. Imagine there's a particular IFRS that requires some level of expertise, but we can't get it from advisory council. What will be the solution? Then it is the duty of the advisory council to provide a link to wherever the board can get such advice so that they can get it and proceed with the IFRSs. So that is what we mean by what the indirect advisory service. Those that they can provide directly, they do that and they move on with the game. Again, the IFRS Foundation, the big bosses, they really know that if they don't also provide a team that will interpret or that will seek for the post-implementation review of these IFRSs, there'll be a lot of, the application of the IFRS will be very difficult. Yes. So now they form another team. We call them International Financial Reporting Interpretation Committee. Interpretation Committee. In fact, they provide what you call explanatory notes. So that's their duty. They provide explanatory notes. However, it must be approved by the board. So basically, the explanatory note must be approved by the board. And then that's all. So this is the structure. So this is the full force, the full team, the full house producing the standards. Please, they produce other standards. Let me be very clear to you. We have standards on sustainability reporting 1 and 2. We have standard on sustainability reporting 1 and 2. Even about a few days ago, ICA Ghana organized a seminar on that, and that was very helpful. Good. So there's other standards on sustainability reporting, but here we are interested in what? IFRS, the one on what? Financial and corporate reporting. Good. These are the main ones. So these are the standards, how we normally go through that. All right, so basically there's a few questions here. Now the question is, go straight by saying that, can we say that IFRS came to modify the IAS? No. IFRS came to replace all the IASs that they are outdated to the extent that we cannot even update it. No update will solve the problem. So therefore, let's cancel the entire IAS. Go. Now the new one that is will be in, let's call it what? IFRS. That is it. So basically, that is the section. All right, so basically that is that. More for us to go. Today's section is a brief about these IFRSs, their introductions, their genesis of that. So then we move on with the game. So currently, if there should be a new standard, will it be named as IAS or IFRS? No. Good, that's a very good question. Please, from 50 to 100 years ahead of us, all the IASs will be cancelled. Take notice. All the IASs, they will be removed, cancelled. Only the IFRSs will remain. So 50, so the next generation, next generation, they won't come and see IASs anywhere. They will read it as a story, as like history. That now we used to have IASs, but now all of them will be IFRSs. So if the latest IFRSs or the latest standard they issue usually is the IFRS 17, insurance contracts. Yes, it's about insurance contracts. They normally, even though there's IFRS 4 also talks about insurance contracts, they release 17 to talk about it. So very soon you will hear them, or you hear the board coming out with IFRS 18. You can guess what next. For me, if you give me chance to guess what the next IFRS is, you should prepare what you call preparation, accounting for girlfriends, and then accounting for final account of funerals, parties, entertainment, and accounting for AI. Accounting for AI, accounting for parties, final account of party and funerals. Yeah, so IFRS 18. This one is based on solely my personal opinion. That's all. All right, so I'll walk you through how these standards have been developed. What I will leave it for you is to know. So let me give you a small exercise. Know these advantages and know this, the disadvantage of the IFRSs is for you. What do you think will be the good news and bad news of these IFRSs? They are for you. Let me go through the due process. Then I can now start these IFRSs in full. So at this stage, I'll walk you through how these IFRSs are being formed, are being developed in summarized form. Then I now pick one of them and start the computation and starts. And then I'll give you all the first 10 standards that we are going to look out for, and I'll give you the rest after. So in this first batch, we expect to know 10 standards in their right form. 10 standards in their right form. 10 standards in their right form for this period. And then we move with the game. So let's go through the IFRS standard setting process. What are the steps the board usually goes through to issue IFRSs? The stages that the 14-member board go through to issue these IFRSs. Then right after, we can now pick one full IFRSs comprehensively dealt with, and we move on with the game. All right, so let's go straight with the game. So basically, we call it the standard setting process. IFRS standard or IFRS setting process. We normally give it a nickname known as what? The due process. So as at now, if they want to form an accounting standard, what should be basically the steps that the 14-member board normally goes through to come out with an IFRS? So imagine we want to form a standard called IFRS 18, event after examination date or period. So that's the standard we want to form. Event after examination period. So that's the standard I want to form. I want to develop the standard. Event after examination period. What are the steps? So if I give, maybe if there's an idea for them to develop this standard, what do you think will be the methodology, the procedure? Please, the steps, the due process, whether they are setting a new standard or they are updating, revising an existing standard. Please, they revise standards a lot. Some of the standard, some of the requirements are too outmoded. They will do what? They revise it from time to time so that this standard will be up to date. Because things are changing. Gradually, will enter into a season of what you call machine learning and AI all over the world, not centralized at some place. Yes, as an us speaking, some countries have not fully moving towards AI and machine learning. So as time goes on, they will be releasing IFRSs on AI and machine learning. And then the rest will continue. So that is that. So whether you are updating an existing standard or developing new ones, the same steps we have to go through. The very first step is known as agenda consultation and plan of work. So the very first step, the board have to consult for ideas. That's the agenda. Why? What's the rationale behind this standard? Every standard, there must be a basis, a genesis, an idea, an interest. You see, you are like the way there's a taste for machine learning and AI in the world. So it will always develop an interest to develop what? An IFRS. So at the very first stage, you have to consult for ideas. That's the agenda consultation, consulting for ideas. Because they must have a lot of ideas before they can put this idea, this reason down so that they can now develop these ideas, and now finally it will be what? A fully published IFRS. That is it. So that's the idea that we are talking about. Again, right after this, if I should go a bit deeper, we can do internal consulting. They can do internal and they can do external consultation. For internal consultation, they normally schedule a meeting with the advisory council. So all the internal advice are coming from where? The advisory council. They provide the advice, the ideas to the board on how they should go by the standard. For instance, if target, I want to set up IFRS 18, event after examination period. In fact, this one, it was an old standard I said before. I can't remember where those standards are. I think it was IAS 66 or so, event after examination period. For those, somewhere 2017, that was a standard that we produced. So the board will seek for advice from the advisory council. So say that, oh, after examination, some of the students, their mindsets are being positive, hoping that they will pass the paper. Negative, hoping that they will fail. Some of them too are also neutral, mixed feelings. They don't really know. They don't really know whether what they wrote was the right answer or was the wrong answer. And they don't want to, they just don't want to know because they don't want to increase their BP. After the exams, they will be fine. Or after the result, they will be fine. So that's the kind of, so you tell them that these standards, you have to provide it this special advice to them. Again, the board also seek for advice from an alternative source. Normally call it that's the external. The external from what you call general public comment. General public comments. You see, every year, the board passed on documents to every country that uses the IFRS. And you have to explain or comment on the IFRS. So where you think there should be an improvement, your difficulty Any comment at all, put them in. So every time they want to develop a new standard or they want to update an existing standard, they revisit this general comment. Thank God in Ghana here, ICA Ghana comment on the entire country they have. So every institution, the country's own ICA or the country's own chartered accountant will do the same. And then you move on with the game. Now, the next one is now, they now plan the work. So they plan. After all this idea, plan of work. Where do we start from? Now we have all the ideas. Where do we start from? Where do we end? Where do we move? Then we go to step 2, discussion paper. What is discussion paper? I call it the skeletal version of the intended standard, the skeleton. So it contains the main point, the main issues, or the main point of the standard. So the examiner, the main issues or the main points. That is what we call discussion paper. So they will develop. It's just the written version of the plan work. The structure or the structuralized and written version of the plan work is known as for discussion paper. That is all. And that one, the board may publish it. You may publish the discussion paper. It's not compulsory. It's a may. You may publish the discussion paper, or you may not publish the discussion paper. It may or not. So it's not compulsory for them to bring it out. No. They can decide to publish it out. Right from the discussion, we can move on to the step 3. We call it exposure draft. Exposure draft. Tell the examiner that this is the draft version. Is a draft version of the intended standard. So that standard we are producing, the draft version is what we call exposure draft. So here all the flex has been added. This is not a skeleton, this is not the main point. It's a full standard yet to be approved. That's all. It's basically full standard yet to be what? Approved. And then that is all. Yet to be approved. Full standard yet to be what? Approved. That is what we mean by what? The exposure draft. For that one, it is compulsory. They must publish it for public comment. So it must be published. That is it must be what? Published. For what? For comment. It must be published for comment. So let me see if I can give you a copy of an exposure draft. Copies of exposure draft. Any exposure drafts that we have. Copies of exposure drafts. Good. I have a copy here. Let me show you. This copy was duly, I think it was released in July 2023, just this month. So this is an exposure draft. They are revising impairment of investment in associates, IS 28. They just want to revise it. And they'll bring the exposure draft. So the exposure draft, it just contains the full section, the exact portion that they are amending. You might bring it out. So you download it, you go through. So they'll tell you what they want to do, and then they'll now go straight to where they want to. And then you go through. When you are done, you bring your comments. If whatever they have suggested, like they are seeking for public comments. So they are looking for comments, and they have their suggestions there. And they have how the comments must be addressed. So all these exposure drafts. So you pick them up, and then these are the questions. These are the questions. This is for IAS 28, Investments in Associates Exposure Drafts. So basically that is it. So some of them, those that you have idea, you can put your comments in there, and then we move on with the game. I'll try and see if I can get some of the comments that people have suggested to the board. All of them are there. All the comments are there in the form of written versions, and then we'll show some of those that we've also commented on them, some of the standards about the exposure draft. We'll show all of them to you for you to have a deeper idea, so that you can feel these IFRSs that they are part and part of us. They are not far from us. They're not like something that someone sat down in one room and then brought it to us. Only few people understand, or only few people must understand. No. Once you have selected accounting as your field of your profession, your career, then it must be part and part of you. Or else, please change your career. Go to which one again? Is it law? No, law. They also have their own. Yes, comedian, or which one again? You can change the field. That is, if this IFRS become very complex to you, that is the only language that will make you understand these IFRS. That's all. Now let's go. Right after the exposure draft, people will comment. So they will take the comment in good faith and now start to work on the comment. So sometimes, normally move on to what you call the revision. Some of the comments require the revision of the exposure draft. You're almost at the tail end of the game. Then after the final revision, new IFRS is issued. And then the last stage is post-implementation review. Post-implementation review. So what is a post-implementation review? Here we are talking about the interpretation committee have to see to it that all the requirements stated in the standard, the users are following it. That's all. So to ensure that the right requirements, because some organizations misapply the standards. They have their own understanding of the standards. They call it remix, right? Their own understanding. So at the end of the day, we seek to wait to check as to whether this requirement has been adhered to. That's all. So we are done. So my next meeting with you, I'm picking my very first standard. At least you know a brief history about this IFRS. The very first out of the 10 standard for the first batch. As soon as we are done with the first 10 standard, we pick another 10 again. 10, 10, 10, 10. Until we finish all the 45 standards. And then we are done. So this batch is 10 standards, and then we are free to go. Basically, we are done for the day. If you have a question, kindly ask before I close the chapter of today's edition. Thank you very much for participating. Kindly watch you and kindly subscribe if I've not done that. Question time, understanding time. You can put your questions in the comment section. I'll pick them up and respond to them. Good.